Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I'm back with another client tutorial today, filming on the beautiful Jess. So this is the before and this is the look we did. So it's like a really dramatic half cut crease with a little like white detailing. Yeah, so if you guys are interested to see how I created this full glam look, then just keep on watching. So to start off with, I'm just clipping her hair back out of her face so we don't get any makeup in it, and then I'm going to go straight in with priming. So the first primer I'm going to take is the Touch of Silk Canvas. You guys probably know by now that I really do love this product. I'm just working that into pretty much her T-zone. She does get very oily, so that's why I wanted to use a nice primer that will fill in the pores, as usually oily people tend to have slightly larger pores. So I'm just putting that all over your T-zone. And with this product, yes, it is pricey, but you only need a really tiny amount, which is really good. And then for the rest of her face, I'm going to take the Laura Mercier, this is the illuminating primer. I'm not sure if these are like replacements for the old Laura Mercier primers, because this is what like I find when I Google the Laura Mercier primers, but the package, maybe they've just like redone the packaging and the names or something. But yeah, so I'm just putting this all over. So it's just a nice hydrating glowy primer. Now for brows, I'm taking my Pro Brow palette, and I think I take the shade taupe, is that how you say it? Taupe and a bit of soft brown together. I'm just filling in her brows lightly. She already has really nice eyebrows, so I'm just pretty much filling in any sparse areas. So once the brows are roughly filled in, I'm taking my P. Louise base. So to carve out the brows, I'm taking the shade 3, and I'm just doing the underneath of the brows. I like to take this shade because it's slightly darker, and because she is so fake tanned, if I go with a lighter shade, sometimes it can look a bit weird having it super white under the brow. So yeah, I'm just doing that, creating a nice defined edge, and then I'm mixing shade 2 and 3 to put all over her lid as the eye base. So sometimes when I feel like I've got a little bit too much like of a thick layer of the eye base, I just go in with my sponge. That's what I've just done here, just because you don't need a really thick amount of this product, otherwise it makes the eyeshadows really hard to work with on top. So now I'm taking, this is the shade Dark Tan in the MAC mineralized bronzers. So I'm putting this all the way through her crease. This tip and this like look I actually got from Makeup by Nicole Jane, which is the same girl I was inspired by in my last video. I just feel like when I look at her page, like I just feel so inspired because I really love her style. So yeah, I'm taking that, putting it all over the crease and in the outer corner. So I actually forgot to show like what palettes and specific shades I was using, but I'll leave them linked down below. So I'm just taking now just like a nice orangey brown, and I'm just building up this shade in the crease and the outer corner as well, getting it nice and intense. I want this look to have like a really nice like burnt orangey browny type of vibe to it. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just working that in the crease and the outer corner. I'm pretty sure this shade is from the Morphe 3503 palette, but obviously you can use any like orangey brown shade. So next, after I've laid that color, I'm taking an even darker, deeper brown, and I'm again doing the exact same thing, running it in the outer corner and also through her crease as well. So as you can see, I'm building up to be quite dark, because when I do cut the crease, pretty much like not none, but not much of this dark brown is even going to show. So I'm building up quite a bit so it can like peep through a little bit. And then in the very outer corners, I'm also going to take a little bit of black. I'm not going to bring this into the crease or anything. I'm just going to focus it in the outer corners of her eyes. So next I'm taking my blank canvas Acid Rain. This is from P. Louise in collaboration with Mitchell. I feel like that's how everyone, like how else would you say that name? But anyway, besides the point. So yeah, I'm just doing a nice high. I want to do like a really like high and defined cut crease. So yeah, that's just what I'm doing here. So I'll just let you guys watch me do that. So once I'm happy with the shape and everything here, I'm just running the Too Faced glitter glue and just doing a light layer all over the eyelids, just so when we put the pigment on, it has something to really stick to. And then the pigment I'm going to be using is Peaches Makeup Gatsby. I just feel like this is like the only gold that isn't like too yellow, too silver. Like it's just like a really, really nice gold. So I'm going to be packing this on all over, as you guys can see now. So once it's all packed on, I'm just taking a few of those crease shades on a little blending brush, and I'm just going to start softening that edge between the shimmer and the matte shades. So I'm just doing little back and forth and circular blending motions. I'm applying quite a bit of pressure, and because we have the glitter glue there, the pigment isn't going to move anywhere, so don't be afraid to actually like apply some pressure when you're blending. So yeah, I'm just taking those crease shades and really softening out that edge, and because we go over some of the black and the dark brown, I'm just going back in now and re-intensifying those shades to get them how like opaque they were beforehand. So next we're going to add that little bit of white liner in the crease to define it. I've never done this before. I sort of wish I left the look like this. Like I prefer it like this. But I mean, I just wanted to try something different and I gave it a shot anyway. I just feel like when you do it this way, the cut crease is a bit more defined. But I felt like I didn't like how the edge wasn't blended of the liner. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but I still like the look and I still love how it turned out. But personally, I've just preferred it before I even added the liner. But you know, can't go back, and I am still happy with how it looked anyway. So yeah, here I am just doing the white line, and now for her lash line, before we go any black liner, I'm just taking the Stila smudge stick in the shade Spice, and I'm running this all across her lash line because I wanted the lash line to be super smoky. So I wanted to add a brown and then layer on the black, so that's what I'm doing. And then I also, once I draw on the brown, I also smoke it out with a little brush as well. Okay, so I just cut out the bit of me like doing the eyeliner. Like I just literally lined her lash line and putting on the lashes, because this video, I feel like my client tutorials always go for so long anyway, and that stuff is boring. So here I've just cleaned up the fallout, and as you can tell, we're ready to go in with the base. So for base, I'm taking my NARS Natural Radiant and my Hourglass Vanish. I've just mixed two shades together. As you can tell, she's very nice and tan, so I'm just putting that all over. Both these foundations are really full coverage and are really good for oily skin as well, and I'm just really buffing that in with a brush. This is a Peaches makeup brush. I'll see if I'll link like the, oh my gosh, why can't I talk? I'll link the number of it or write it down below because I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I'm just going in and layering this foundation all over her face. After foundation, I like to go with my Model Rock Base Maker sponge and really press it into the skin. Make sure I've like taken away any like excess product, and I feel like this is what really makes it look nice and flawless. Now to conceal, I'm taking the Born This Way Sculpt Conceal Multi Sculpt. I'm just taking two shades of this, and as you can see, it is very light. I didn't actually notice how light it was when I was putting it on until I looked in the viewfinder, which is why we start laughing in a second, because I was like, oh my god, this is so like crazy white. I never do highlight this intense, but I was like, you know what, once we blend it out, it'll look fine. So ignore how crazy white it looks. We could not stop laughing about that. So now I'm taking the same sponge and just blending it all out and making it look less crazy. And I also like this concealer. I still would prefer my Tarte Shape Tape. I feel like this one is a good alternative. It's still full coverage. I wouldn't say it's as full coverage though. So now that that's all blended out, I'm taking my Laura Mercier translucent powder, of course, my favorite powder, and a little Real Techniques setting brush, and I'm literally just tapping it in under the eye. So I'm making sure I'm not doing any like swiping motions. I like to really press the powder into the skin and then sort of like buff it away so there's no excess powder. I feel like this way you get a really nice set under eye, and it really like blurs pores and smooths everything out really nicely. So next, as you guys know, I'm going to be taking my fave MAC Studio Fix powder in the shade NC30, and I'm just going to be pressing this into the skin to set the rest of her face. So next, before I go in with bronzer, I'm just taking a little bit of the Morphe Setting Mist. I really like this powder because I have like obviously used quite a few powders on her face. It just helps melt everything in, and it like stops it from looking powdery or cakey. And now I like to go in with my bronzer. So I'm taking the same bronzer we put in the crease, so the MAC dark tan mineralized skin finish, and I'm literally putting this everywhere, so on her cheeks, on her forehead, under the jawline, nose, under the lip, and just creating a nice really bronzed look. So next I'm going in with blush. I'm taking my Becca Khloe Malika palette and that top blush shade, which is a really pretty like peachy gold shimmery blush. I love this one, especially on tan clients. It looks really, really stunning. To add a tiny bit more definition to the cheeks, I like to take my Fenty Beauty bronzer, and because this is quite like a darker shade and it's got a little bit more of a slightly cooler undertone, so I like to put this just at the very backs of the cheekbones just to help add some more definition. And now I'm taking the same Laura Mercier powder and cleaning up the bronzer and blush and everything to get it nice and defined. So next we're going to be highlighting with the MAC Hyper Real Glow palette. I really like this palette for like an intense highlight. Like it's really, and as you can see, the blush already is really pretty and glowy. So we're just going to be adding that highlight to the very tops of the cheekbones. It's very blinding. I really do like this highlighter for like a really intense highlighter. And it's also nice, like it is super intense, but it does like melt into the skin. It doesn't look like powdery or glittery or anything like that, which is what I like in highlighters. So yeah, I'm putting that on her cheekbones, a bit above the brow, down the tip of the nose, Cupid's bow, and a little bit in between the brows. So next I'm just going to be running some clear brow gel through her brow. So my favorite is the Benefit brow setter. So yeah, as you can see, I'm just brushing this through her eyebrows. This gets rid of any like powders or anything that got caught in the hairs. So now I'm going to go back and finish off the eyes. So I'm taking my what is this, oh, the same highlighter actually, and I'm just putting this right in the inner corners. I feel like this really helps like open up the eyes and completes a look. Now in the waterline, I'm taking that same Spice smudge stick. I feel like brown is actually quite underrated in the waterline. Like I feel like it looks really nice, especially if someone doesn't want black. Like brown is a nice alternative. And then for the lower lash line, I'm pretty much just smoking those shades that we used in the crease just underneath the eye. And I'm also adding a tiny bit of black just to the outer third, so it just matches the tops of the eyes. And then that's pretty much all the eyeshadow for the eyes done. And now I'm just going to finish off base and lips. So I'm just brushing off the translucent powder. And as you can see now, it's nice and sharp and clean without it being like super harsh. And now for lips, my lip liner that I'm using is tiny. It's my favorite MAC strip down. I do love the Morphe lip liners and stuff, but I just feel like this shade, like MAC strip down, is just my favorite. So I'm using that, lining her lips, and then I'm going to fill them in with some gloss. So the gloss I'm using is no surprise, it's Peaches and Cream, and this is the shade Sisterhood, so it's like a really nice light nude, and I'm just putting this all over. These glosses are really good because you don't need a lipstick underneath them because they are so pigmented on their own. And then to finish off the eyes, before I forgot, I need to do mascara. So I've just taken like any Maybelline mascara on a disposable wand, and I'm coating her top and bottom lashes. Next we're going to be setting the face with the Skindinavia finishing spray. This is the bridal one. I'm just spraying this all over to set the makeup and soak in any excess powders. Now I'm going to be also highlighting her décolletage area. She has like the best, I don't know, like is this a weird thing, best collarbones ever for highlighting. So you'll see that in a second. I'm going to be taking the Mecca Glow Drops. Are they called glow? I don't know why I said glow drops. Mecca Liquid Light in the shade Topaz. And I'm going to be putting that all over her collarbones, her shoulders, just pretty much everywhere. And it looks really, really stunning. And I feel like it just completes the look. So this is pretty much now the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. It was nice to do something quite dramatic and glowy and bronze, which is what my favorite type of look is. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave any video suggestions in the comments below. Bye!